Hi everyone, Dave here. Before I get into everything else, can I just say thank you for all the prayers I've received over the last week or so while I've been ill and in hospital. It's very, very much appreciated. Um, don't think I'd have been this far on in my journey of recovery without you. So I'm very grateful. And it isn't really to any of you that I'm addressing these remarks. Really, I probably should be in bed still. Um, I'll tell you a little bit more than I've said before. The past 2 years, I've had all kinds of health issues. I'm not going to discuss those. Over and above my pre-existing disability of blindness, and over and above my pre-existing heart condition that I was born with. These issues are extra, and they are serious, and they have seriously compromised my immune system. This week, a week ago, I woke up on last Thursday with my feet double the size that they normally would be, unable to get shoes on, barely able to walk, and was ordered to hospital. And after lots of tests and things, uh, it's apparent that it's a kind of form of heart failure. I had fluid on my lungs. My breathing was difficult. Fluid on my feet. Fortunately, that's all going down. But it's serious, and I'm having to take it seriously, which is difficult for me. I've always adopted the attitude to all my illnesses and disabilities that if I ran at it like a bull at a gate, I could beat it. And this time I'm having to learn that that's not the approach. It's a kind of slowly catch a monkey approach, which doesn't sit well with someone as impatient as me. But I'm doing it. And the care I'm receiving from my wife, as I refer to her online, because she doesn't like to be online, Mrs. Dave, and from Jarvis, my retired guide dog. The care I'm getting from both of them is exceptional. Neither of them are happy about me being up and making this video right now. But to be perfectly honest with you, they've let me do it because they know how angry I am. Today, I've learned of an article in the Church Times by a renowned Christian broadcaster, her being Angela Tilby, someone I say should know better, decrying online church as in some way less. Now, I put a warning at the beginning of this video, and this is the reason why I have searched my mind for other ways to say this, but none of them convey the amount of conviction I feel about this. Miss Tilby, how fucking dare you? How fucking dare you? I don't say that lightly. I know that might cost me friends and followers. And I cannot think of another way of saying it as strongly as I feel. The church of every Christian denomination for centuries has failed disabled people and is still failing disabled people. The church is not able to provide buildings that are accessible, liturgies that are accessible in their use of language, literature that is readable to people with visual impairments, audio to people who have hearing issues, BSL signage to deaf people, Makaton to people who need the services of Makaton. None of these things are widely available. Yet, when those of us who acknowledge that try to create something of our own that is accessible to us and welcoming to us, that doesn't contain the kind of bad theology that says we are disabled because of our sin or disabled because of a lack of faith. When we try and create that, we try and build that online, the church, which is already, as I have said, hugely failing us, wants to rubbish what we do. I'm sorry, that is not acceptable. That is wanting it both ways. You cannot have it both ways. If you do not want online to grow, if you do not want it to be acknowledged as an acceptable form of church, put your house in order. The fact is, you haven't got the money to make your buildings accessible. You lack the will to make your buildings accessible. People are so tied to their particular favourite form of worship that they will not compromise to an accessible form of worship that welcomes everyone. I still pray that those things will come about, and I will still work for those things to come about. But I am realistic enough to know that they're unlikely to come about in my lifetime. In the meantime, there are thousands of us worldwide who want to feel part of a church that belongs to us, that welcomes us in the here and now, not a distant dream of what might come down the road, in the here and now. And online is a way that we can do that. I have spent the last 5 years with Bill and Katie giving up at least 40 hours a week of my time, unpaid. That's every week for 5 years, regardless of whether I've been on holiday, regardless of whether I've been in hospital, to grow a community that is a real church community that exists on Twitter, through the Ordinary Office, and through our other website. I'd like to ask Miss Tilby, how many attend her church? This church that she thinks is so superior to mine. Do you have 14,500 followers in your church, as we do on Twitter? Do you have 2,000 people regularly worshipping you on a daily basis, as we do with the Ordinary Office? No, I didn't think so. So you tell me, Miss Tilby, whose is the most valid? You tell me, Miss Tilby, who's going to support those people that we are supporting? Because I don't see the church doing it. Is this a rant? Of course it's a rant. Am I cross? Of course I am cross. When you have a pop at online church, you are having a pop at the disabled community, the disabled Christian community, right? What you expect is for us to just take it on the chin, be very meek and mild about it, and go away quietly. I'm telling you now, it's not happening. We are not going to go quietly. We have a right to be here. We are here, and we're staying, and we're growing. If you'd only but listen, we have a ministry to the wider church. That's right, a ministry to the church. We're not just here to be ministered to, for you to practice on. We are here to minister to you, and we have things to say to you. But whilst you maintain the stance of your version of church is superior to ours, you ain't in the place to listen. I'm going to stop now, because I've probably said more than I should, and I've certainly allowed myself to get more annoyed than is good for me at the moment. But it had to be said. I had to say it. If you notice, I haven't branded this video as Disability in Jesus because I'm speaking for me. But I'm sure there are many that follow Disability in Jesus that would echo my sentiments, that would agree with me. If you do, and you see this video, please share it. Make it go viral. The world of church needs to hear this, needs to understand it, needs to embrace it, and needs to do something about it. I'm going back to my sick bed. Peace be with you all. Sorry for ranting, but I really cannot think of another way to do this. Bless you all. Bye-bye.